Hey guys, Jacob Kell, welcome back to my universe. I'm super happy to have you. In this video, what I'm going to talk about today is something incredibly important and incredibly useful that you guys need to know right now so that you can begin to commence change within your lives. So today I'm going to talk about the process of changing yourself using the mirror effect to get into vibrational alignment and stay in vibrational alignment. Okay, so to start, I would venture to say that you and I have both attempted to change attributes of ourselves many and many times in the past, maybe sometimes with success, but a lot of the times with failure. So there is a real problem with the way in which we approach change that doesn't lead to great results. Now, when it comes to building our ideal life and shifting into vibrational alignment with the version of ourselves that we want to be, we have to realize that this is an ongoing process, okay? This shift into our ideal state is not a one-time thing, an overnight thing. It is a continuous process and journey that's going to last you the rest of your life, okay? The path of spiritual growth and alignment is really an eternal process, okay? Now, you can accomplish a tremendous amount here in your life on earth, and that's what we're going to talk about. And your life has the potential to be everything that you could possibly imagine, and then some, because the universe knows just how magical it can be. So, when it comes to the mirror effect I like to talk about for commencing change, there's two things, two main parts of this technique that I like to talk about. Okay, when it comes to the mirror effect, it's basically the process of mirroring your ideal self in your imagination. Now, this is extremely powerful, and you can gain a lot of insights that are going to help you on your journey just from using your imagination. So one of the things that I recommend when I'm helping people shift into spiritual alignment, people that are undergoing their own sort of awakening, is let's get very clear on what is your ideal future self, okay? And so really this is step number one when it comes to creating change in your life and moving in the direction of your ideal self. So step number one is get extremely clear on what your ideal self looks like. Now, there's many ways that you can do this. My favorite way is through a mirror meditation that I've created, and I'll be posting that as well so that you guys can also do it. And so basically the process of getting clear on the ideal self requires you to really dive deep into the emotions, feelings, actions, and attributes of that ideal self in your imagination. So you can even close your eyes right now for a moment. Place your hands over your heart and just draw your attention inward toward your heart center. And now, from that place, imagine your ideal self in the future, okay? What does this person look like, act like, talk like, and most importantly, what do they feel like, okay? What is their beingness? So feelings, as we know, as I've discussed before, are the way in which we communicate with the universe, okay? If we don't feel good about what we're doing, our results will not be good. Feeling is how we translate that image in our mind and invite it into our realities by feeling that way now. So the most important thing to note when it comes to painting this clear picture of your ideal self is how does that version of you feel, okay? Now, beyond feelings, you can begin to notice what actions and behaviors does that person exhibit. Because I would venture to say that that version of you has slightly different actions and behaviors that you do now, okay? And those are causing them to feel in a different way. That's probably better than how you feel right now today. So our goal is to note all of those attributes as much as we can with as best of an understanding as our imagination will feed us, and then begin to mirror all of that information in our lives right now. So that's what we have control over today, okay? And so the goal is to act in the same manner, with the same feelings, same intentions as that ideal version of ourselves that we visualize. Now, what's important to take note here, and this leads to step number 2, which is going to help you create this change, is taking action. So I guess we'll just get into number 2. Number 1 is getting clear on who that ideal self is, how they think, feel, and act. Number 2 is you taking action in the present state to mirror that version of yourself, okay? So now that we've learned how that person thinks, what they feel like, what they do, let's try and adopt those through practice right now into our waking existence today. Okay, now you're not going to completely change your whole aura and being today just from doing this exercise, but what you are going to do and what you're perfectly capable of doing is choosing maybe one thing that I can do right now that is the same as that higher version of me. Okay, and you want to choose something that makes you feel that way, even if you only feel that way for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, okay? You want to pick one thing you can do every day that puts you into vibrational alignment with the highest version of yourself, okay? Now, this taking action part is really about picking one step and then building on it from there. Because what you'll find is when you get good at that one thing and that one thing becomes a habit, it will begin to snowball. You will have more energy to apply towards other aspects towards that state of ideal being. You're basically going to get good at being that way over time. Now, what's important to realize is don't rush this process. You know, I've tried a lot of times in my own life to change things about me, maybe bad habits or poor thought process, and I'll try to just overhaul my whole life and the way I've been in one day, okay? And I've always failed terribly at trying to do this and reverted back to being the old way. And that lowers your morale and it kind of crushes your process. And that's why I don't encourage people, don't go ahead and try and change everything in one day. Why would you put that much weight on yourself? There's really no need. When you can embrace the fact that change is an eternal process anyway, whether it's in this life or the next. Now, don't confuse that and say, oh, I'm going to sit on my ass and, you know, I'll evolve in the next life. That's an equally as bad way to perceive of reality. But you have to realize that change is a process. And one of the biggest parts of change is also, and that this process takes into consideration, is let's not focus on the problem or the negatives which we want to change about ourselves. Let's not focus on the bad habits, okay? What we're basically doing by getting clear and then taking action that's in vibrational alignment with that ideal version of ourselves is we are focusing on the new and not paying attention to the old. And that should really be your approach to inviting change into your life. Okay? If I have, say you're a smoker, you don't want to sit there and obsess upon, oh, I'm a smoker, I need to quit smoking. How am I going to quit smoking? Oh, I feel anxious now that I'm quitting smoking. You're going down a wormhole that's actually creating more of a reality of you smoking. Because you're obsessing upon it, it's consuming your energy, and you even talking about not smoking is creating more of a reality where you do smoke. Okay, so what you have to do is not look at the old or look at what you want to get rid of. Just look at the new. Look at the more optimal. Okay, focus on the new version. When you apply your energy and focus toward the new version, you'll find that the old naturally begins to dissipate. A gap begins to widen between the new and the old. Okay. Now, if you were to stop looking at the new and then go back to looking at the old, then you can easily pull it back into your life. But this is why we do this over time, to build the habit, that one action a day that's in vibrational alignment. Okay. And that one will turn into two, and that two will turn into three. And as you begin to build the new, you'll find that you don't have a problem dealing with the old. You don't view it in the same way. You actually don't even view it at all. It begins to release its grips from you because you aren't giving it your attention. And that's just how powerful your attention is, by the way. So if you want to get rid of a bad habit, focus on a good habit, okay? Little bits at a time, focusing and building upon the new habit. The old one simply will lose all its energy the more energy you direct the other way toward the new, more ideal habit for you. Now, the third step in this process is, well, trust the process, okay? We can easily get vacuum sucked right back into this destructive state of overthinking and overanalyzing, which paralyzes us. I know that you've experienced it. I know that I've experienced it more times than I can possibly fathom. And I don't like it. And that's why I'm practicing getting good at trusting the process. And I read this in a book called The Passion Test, which is a wonderful book. I highly recommend it. It's about finding your passion and really helping you do this process in a little bit different fashion. One of the things that the Passion Test book says is that you can step into alignment at the speed of trust, okay? And so that's what this number 3 in my rules is all about. Trust the process. The more that you trust, the universe is going to take care of you, prop you up, and guide you along your way in this journey, the faster you will actually be on your way. So trust is a tough thing because we constantly have this internal dialogue that is critiquing everything, every movement, every motion, and our ego really wants to keep things the same. So what we have to do, and this leads into next step number 4, is begin to catch these recurring patterns and these old patterns. So what we're going to do is get clear on the emotions of our new state of being. Take action at least once every single day that is in alignment with those ideal feelings and behaviors. Number 3 is we're going to trust that the universe is going to support us and prop us up during this journey. And number 4 is that we are going to begin to catch and notice recurring thought patterns or processes that are not in alignment with the new version of ourselves, okay? Now, these are going to be there. You are absolutely going to have the same thoughts as yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So the thing when it comes to change and choosing to place our attention on the new is viewing those old patterns and those old thoughts and those old beliefs in a new light. So what we want to do is, because they're going to be there, we want to allow them to be there. In fact, we want to invite them with gratitude. So when it comes to those patterns resurfacing, you may feel as though it's pulling you out of alignment. You're like, how am I going to make any progress? How am I going to shift forward and be the new version of me that I want to be? Well, what you're going to have to do is really accept and integrate those old patterns that are repeating themselves, okay, in your thought process, in your mind, and in your reality. So what you want to do is catch them and verbally acknowledge in your mind, okay, this is that same thought pattern. It's happening right now. It's making me feel this way. acknowledge how it is, kind of like point it out. It's almost like shining a flashlight, okay? It's like, oh, I'm having this thought pattern again. It makes me feel anxious and distrusting of what I'm doing with my life. This could be anything. I allow this thought process to be here because it is. I allow it, and I choose to release it. I have taken my value from this thought process, this repetitive behavior or pattern, and I am now choosing to release it. So, and then go back to taking an action that's in vibration. So, if that makes sense, you want to catch the recurring thought process, observe it, and allow it to be there. Basically, call it out, okay? Explain what it is to yourself so that you can see it clearly and understand it for what it is, and then allow it to go away from you. Allow yourself to be relieved of it. And this takes practice. This isn't like a one-time cure-all. I'm going to fix the way I've been thinking for the past 30 years. No. This is a process too. But the more you catch, the more you shed light upon it, the faster it disappears out of your life, okay? The more light you point upon that which bothers you or that which is not in alignment, the more it's going to get drowned out, okay? It's going to go away. It might take a week, it might take a year, but I promise that if you keep catching it, you will find yourself feeling lighter and lighter and lighter as that leaves your being and you replace its space with the wiring of the new ideal version of yourself that you've been practicing every day, at least once a day. And then always just going back to the action that puts you in vibrational alignment. Just do it once a day. And if you have something that's really bringing you down, bringing you out, reverting to the old, showing up in your life, do whatever it takes to kind of snap out of it, snap out of the funk, do something different, shake up the autopilot mind. Okay, get a cold shower, do some push-ups, do yoga, clear your mind, shift back into alignment. Go do that one action that you know is correlated with the aligned highest version of yourself. Okay, just go do that action ASAP, and you'll see that your state can change very quickly. And this is just an overall kind of a very clear-cut 4-step process that you can use to start creating change within your life and moving toward the aligned version of yourself. So one last time I'll go over those. It's number 1, get clear on what is the ideal version of yourself. How do they think, feel, and act? Number 2 is take action. Every day, at least once a day, mimic one of the actions with the feelings and behaviors that your ideal self that you visualized would do. Okay? Do take that action at least once a day. You'll find that that grows and expands over time the more you shift your energy toward it and away from the old. And that the old gradually just disappears because you're not even thinking about it. You're not obsessing upon it. You're just moving in a new direction. Number 3, trust the process. So the universe has a unique way of supporting those who are aligned. The universe is built for alignment and harmony. This is literally my motto. That's why it's tattooed on my wrist. If you are acting in alignment or towards your alignment, even if the whole world around you, you feel like your whole life is in shambles and chaos and you don't know how you're going to survive, if you are making the choice to act toward alignment, rest assured the universe will support you. Okay? Your way will be figured out. You might say, I have no money. It'll show up if you are genuinely and authentically choosing alignment. You will survive, and you will be blessed, and you will feel good about the process. You'll enjoy it because you're moving toward a much more preferable state of being, an aligned state of being. Number 4 is catch those recurring patterns, okay? Just catch them. It's okay for them to be there. They will show up. The old will show up. It'll try and take you back. Catch the fact that it's happening. Allow it to happen. It's perfectly okay. It's perfectly normal. And it's acceptable. Allow it. But when you're allowing it, you're observing it. What you're doing is creating more of a distance, more of a separation between you and that which is occurring, that which is recurring. Sorry. Allow that separation to build just from observation. Keep shining that light on it, and you'll find that with practice, those things will dissipate in power over you. You're basically taking your power back by observing them. With practice, they'll be gone. And then, as always, do something. If you were pulled down into the old recurring thought process or way of being, do something ASAP to snap you back up in vibration, back toward your ideal self. Take that action again that's more closely associated with your ideal state of being, whatever that may be. Guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that those are some actionable steps that you can take right now to begin to create actionable change within your life and shift toward a more aligned state of being. That is my wish for you, me, and everyone on the earth, so that we can all live in a more harmonious flow with Earth and the universe. As always, if you like this video, make sure you get the thumbs up. Make sure you click subscribe, because I've got a whole laundry list of videos coming out that are going to help you take actionable steps right now, today, no matter where you're at. They're going to make you feel good and start the shift towards alignment. I promise you're going to love them. So make sure you click that subscribe button down below. That'll let you be notified when I do publish a video. And until tomorrow, I appreciate you, and namaste.